The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Good morning and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan. Our studio is powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, the Milwaukee Brewers doing Milwaukee Brewers things, LVN hopefully doing LVN things, and this man is always doing the right and human thing. He is Mason Crosby.
A lot of humanity here this morning. School has started, getting kids off, making sure that, everything is back on track and doing that thing. It got a little heated this morning.
Okay.
But we're moving in. Apologies are being said. We're trying to get back on track. And we're going to dive into the Brewers because we have to, because they just keep showing us why they are the best team in baseball.
Ridiculousness, right?
We're getting into we're going to get into Badgers stuff. We got Nick Osen coming on, which is awesome. He's at their camp. We're going to dive deep into what we can expect from Badgers football.
Yep.
And then a lot of Packers talk.
Absolutely.
we're going to dive into this Packers stuff.
You made me cry this morning.
Not worry.
You made me cry my own tears already this morning with the and we all knew the Matthew Golden story that he bought a house for his grandma.
Yeah.
But just like watching seeing the video, tears, man. Mace.
And I mean, it's crazy how many stories like that there are. It's awesome whenever people step up and they do whatever it takes to help their child or their grandchild get to where they need to go, and then when they pay it back, it's amazing. So
yeah, that was special. So,
but let's start off with this Brewers team. I mean, I'm looking at the box score, but I could have probably just read off the normal of what happened. Bryce Terang hits home run to start the game. It's like, what's going on? Like, Yelich gets a home run. Everybody gets a hit. It's just like, what is going on there in Milwaukee? I mean, this is insanity. Quintana is 10-4 now. Just had a solid outing. Like, it's crazy. They held him to 3 hits. Milwaukee has 11. They maybe played a little worse defense. Do I see 2 errors there? Like, what is going on?
They don't make errors.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about what they can improve.
Yeah,
errors. Errors is where they can.
Let's
improve.
rewind to that first inning. Tommy, you got it. Or you want me to hit it? I got it.
Deep center, back, track, and here! 1-0 Brewers on a leadoff homer by Terang.
No big deal.
And Mason, Tommy has a stat for you. Tommy, I want you to, because this is I could steal
Lead
it.
off Tommy. Yep.
But you shared the stat with me this morning, so I want you to go with it.
Oh, the Bryce Terang stat.
Yes.
Since August has begun, Bryce Terang has 5 home runs, and Eugenio Suarez has 1.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
So
what's up?
I don't think anyone was ready for the trade deadline acquisition of Bryce Terang being super awesome at baseball, but he is just incredible, and you're welcome for making you guys fans.
Right.
Yes.
So Mason,
where's the power come from?
I think we need to adjust that. Like, before we talk about anything else, Bryce Terang, I think, has found something, because people have talked about how during batting practice he hits a bunch of home runs.
Yeah.
And people have said, like, why, and he's not a big guy, but he has the power. I think he has found something in his approach at the plate that has allowed him to keep hitting as well as he has, but add power. And I don't think that's like, you don't often do that in the middle of a season. That's an off-season adjustment that guys make. But to make that, like, from July to August, where he's on this streak, he's hitting home run at, he's got 5, like Tommy said, he's got 5 home runs in 12 days. Like,
it's insane.
He's been nuts, and it's fun to watch. And how does that, like, Mason, how does a guy make a mental adjustment like that in the middle of a season?
I guess it's a mental adjustment, but he
or
found
maybe
power.
It's just physical.
I think it was always there, right? I guess it's just like he just kind of maybe adjusted a little bit about his approach on how he was gonna swing his bat. It's just like, all right, instead of just putting this thing on the ground or just getting hits, I'm just going to lean back. I'm just going to dip a little bit and send this thing over the fence. Like, when you're that good at hitting the ball, I guess you can just say, like, well, let's just try this out. I do it in practice all the time. Might as well just see if I can do it in a game.
Yep. Tommy, you're our resident Bryce Terang expert. What are you seeing up there from Bryce?
Bryce is just – I love when he is in the leadoff spot, and I do think the leadoff spot is –
Does it free up a little bit?
It's just like walking the leadoff hitter is something we've seen Pat Murphy send guys down to the minor leagues for this season. Like, he hates it. Every manager,
they're going to throw some pitches.
Yes, every manager hates it when you walk the leadoff hitter of an inning. And
that makes sense.
I know that the stat was true a few seasons ago. I'd have to double check it, but I believe in 2018, the leadoff walk scores 69% of the time, and a leadoff triple scored 68% of the time. So it's literally more likely if it's a leadoff walk. Now, how the Brewers run the bases, a leadoff walk can turn into a leadoff triple immediately now at this point, too.
Especially with Bryce or Sal.
But you want to see strikes, right? And, Mitch, we've talked about this. You remember when Corey Hart got moved to the leadoff spot in the middle of the year and then just became Barry Bonds, all over?
Absolutely.
Because they see strikes.
It made no sense, but it made perfect sense.
Sal Frelick has a batting average over 300 when he bats leadoff as well this year. He doesn't have the same power stroke right now that Bryce Terang is on, but the leadoff spot in an inning is so crucial, and it's when the Brewers didn't have that early on in the year with a guy batting fifth. They were putting a guy that was more speedy and more contact-based because they had the argument of the fifth spot leads off more than any other spot other than the one spot in the order. Well, now Bryce Terang has figured something out. He's not going to leave that position anytime soon, and we're in the same boat we were in with pitching now with Milwaukee earlier. The team's just crowded at this point, and I don't know where everyone fits.
It is. It's crazy.
It's a good. I will always argue that's a good problem to have, though. Like, I know you don't have enough spots. It's like the Packers' offensive line. Yeah. If Jordan Morgan really is good, and they use a second-round pick this year on Belton, and you got 7 starters, and you don't know exactly what to do, I will make that argument in baseball as well. And yes, I know Brendan Lockridge has been like a nice player since he's been up here, right?
Exactly. So underrated as well.
Exactly. But when you upgrade from Lockridge to Churio, when Churio's ready, that's like a trade deadline acquisition. That's a huge. We're ready.
Would we say Vaughn has cooled off? He's not cranking homers.
Yes.
What are the stages of suns? Right? Isn't like a white sun?
Right.
Like
he's still
hitting
the ball, but it's just he's cooled off, right? Like if we want to say
he's an ember right now instead of a flame. At this
he's
point.
about to light back up.
Yeah.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan talking text line. 414-677-1250. Is there anything this Brewers team can't do? Is there anything they need to be doing better? I know the question you threw out, Tommy, was there anything they need to take more seriously? And to me, that's like, is there anything they need to focus on? Because again, the Milwaukee Brewers are 74. They're not 10 games over 500. They're not 20 games over 500. They're not 25 games over 500.
When did this happen?
They're 30 games. It's physically impossible for an NFL team to be over 30 games over 500. So Mason doesn't understand this concept.
I don't even, yeah. Well, and it just feels like we were talking like, hey, if they can just get over once they get over 500.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if they can get to 5 games over 500, we're going to feel really good. It's
to be fair.
And then it's just, and that was a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, they've only lost 5 games since the 4th of July.
That's
what
just
is going
5
on?
games.
Mason Crosby was the first guy to say the Brewers were winning the World Series this
That's
year.
right, he
to
was.
be fair.
Yes, he
That
was.
was back in May 3rd when they stunk.
You're
But
not
he was
wrong.
all over it, and now he looks like a genius.
I see it. I see the truth. Here's something that I found fascinating as well, as we were kind of talking about, like what don't the Brewers do well?
Okay.
It's their look at their prospects. Like, did you see that list that came out? I think it was like the top 100 prospects.
Tommy talked about this yesterday on the leadoff show. But
Jesus Mate, MLB number 5 prospect in all of MLB. Luis Pena, the number 16. Cooper Pratt, number 53. Jefferson Cuero, number 65. Logan Henderson, number 90.
Yeah.
I mean, they have 5 in the top 100. And the 2 of them, I mean, they're what now? They're gone. They're at the.
They've gone up.
Yeah, they've gone up.
They just got called
high
up.
And they had
to
6.
high A.
Mizorowski graduated.
Right,
And Miz was one of
list,
them. Yeah.
right.
I mean, they are just building this thing out over and over again for the future. Like, how do you fit these guys in? Like, you're just going to have to continue to develop and move guys in and out of this roster. You know, as these players, I mean, Jesus Mate and Luis Pena are going to get a look here in the next year or two, I would think.
Well, and on top of it, I think that what needs to be said is Pat Murphy's managerial job. Like, I think of it as just like the Brewers have enlightened me on how important culture is in a locker room, right? This season, it is not.
I didn't enlighten you on that.
Well, you like give off some, different culture vibes sometimes when it's football guys, I mean, baseball guys are so different compared to football guys, where everyone who plays football, like, while they all have kind of different mindsets, like, when you get into football, it is like a locker room, right? The stereotypical locker room talk. In baseball, there's so many weirdos, man. There's so many different personalities and so many people you have to try to mesh together. And
so
Pat
many
Murphy,
nationalities, too,
right?
Which is unique.
And Pat Murphy has this team every single day. They are talking about, how is this happening and how is this going on? And yesterday, Sparky had Isaac Collins on his show and really just continuing to embody what Pat Murphy is trying to preach, where stop looking ahead. Don't worry about something that's happened in the past, because Isaac Collins was named NL Rookie or NL Player of the Week last week, and he said
after being Rookie of the Month,
right? And Pat Murphy was like, "I'm happy for him, but we don't talk about that stuff. Like we continue to just play in every day who we go after."
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely we know what the standings are, and but again, that's not why we're playing. We're taking this thing one day at a time. We're just trying to win today. But yeah, we know what's at stake. We know that we're in first place. We've got ourselves a decent lead, and we want to keep that lead. And for us to do that, we gotta take this thing one day at a time and just execute and win tonight, no matter who we're playing. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely some knowledge. We're not just completely ignoring the fact that we're in first place or first in the NL. So, I think it's just a level of excitement. Like, hey, we can do something really special here. We have a chance to, really make a run here. But again, let's focus on today. Let's stay present and let's win today.
And any guy can say that, but the Brewers keep doing that day in and day out now too.
Smart kid, Mace, right? He's a smart kid.
It's like the Bull Durham stuff, right? It's just like, one game at a time, just keep your head down, do it. But the Brewers are living it out. I mean, they are literally doing it one game at a time, one moment at a time, and they've pulled themselves to a 6.5 game lead over the Chicago Cubs, who are playing, really good baseball in their own right. I mean, what are they, 4.5 games out in the wild card race? I mean, they're dominating, but it's like this Brewers team is just on a different level. And we didn't see that at the start of the season. And, I decided that I was going to be a knee-jerk, baseball fan where I was going to get excited about every moment and disappointed every time they had, lost a game. But this team just proves day in and day out that they are the team to beat, and they are going to stress everybody out along the way without stressing themselves out. They're just free-flowing. They're just friends out there having a good time playing ball.
Power of friendship, right?
Right.
And here's another one for you.
About.
June 17th, this comes from our good buddy Andrew Wagner. On June 17th, the Brewers were 39-35 in second place, 6.5 games back. Yep. On August 11th, they are 74-44 and up by 6.5 games, a 13-game swing over a span of 57 days.
That is crazy.
Yep.
That's insane.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 8-2 in their last 10, and they've lost 2 games to the Brewers in the standings because the Brewers, of course, are 10-0. The Brewers 5 up on Philly, 5.5 up on Toronto, 6 up on Detroit, 6.5 up on both the Cubs and the Dodgers, who are viewed. I don't know Phillies in second place in the NL right now, and then the Cubs and Dodgers tied for third. I think the Cubs and especially the Dodgers are still viewed as the favorite to win the NL. I just keep waiting for our friends at the Potawatomi Sportsbook to adjust those odds. But right now, the Dodgers are still, because the Dodgers are going to win their division. They're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they're going to be tough once they get in the playoffs.
But if the Dodgers and Cubs both have to play in that wild card round, like if the Brewers and Phillies are the only two teams end up being the top two teams, like that's a lot of pressure on those teams.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's why we want to avoid that. That's why as Brewers fans, we want to avoid that. We've seen the toll it takes on teams over the past few years.
Mason, can you talk me out of loser talk here? Because I think I have loser talk brain right now.
Okay. None of that.
All I want is that the Brewers don't lose to the Cubs in the playoffs.
Okay, so you don't want Cubs and Dodgers to play in that wild card or something.
I just don't. I don't want the Brewers to be eliminated by the Cubs.
Okay.
That's it.
Like
that's
if the Brewers lose to somebody
it.
else, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. If the Cubs lose to somebody else, that's totally fine. Just doesn't want
my mind would be I want to face the Cubs in the playoffs and break their hearts.
Yeah, that would be the best case scenario.
So there it is. So then don't even think of the other alternative. Like that doesn't even exist. Like don't even think about it.
Okay.
It's like whenever you go on a golf course and there's water and like everyone's mindset is just like avoid the water. There's water left. There's traps right. All that. It's like no. Where do you want to hit it?
Right. Just hit it where you
want
to
for
hit
it. If you hit it in the water. And you either didn't put a good swing on it, you got a little unlucky, whatever. Like you missed your line a little bit, and you move on. Like that's the mentality. Don't think about losing to the Cubs right now because
speaking of that mentality, it's tonight. Tonight is the mentality, right? One game at a time.
Well, that's what I was going to shift to. I mean,
right. The pitching matchup
on the mound
against Skeens.
Against
Skeens. Let's go, baby.
I know, and it's it's crazy to think how good Skeens is, and he's 7-8. Right? It's like, gosh.
He leads the league in ERA. He's going to win the Cy Young. It doesn't matter what his win-loss is.
1.94 ERA.
Nuts.
Yeah, his whip is .93.
It's unbelievable.
I know. It's insane.
He'd be 20-0 if he was on the Brewers right now.
162 strikeouts.
He'd literally be 20-0 right now.
He might be.
Yeah. Imagine Skeens on this team. Like, you couldn't put him in. I mean,
well, we're going to find out next year when Mizorowski's starting from the beginning of the year. We're going to find out what it's like having Skeens on our team.
I guess, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, did I say that out loud? It is 69 degrees in Hales Corners. There's a light drizzle. There are going to be patches of rain throughout the day. Please be careful out there because some of the flooding could come back because of how saturated the ground is. For those of you still with water in your basements, I hope you're doing okay. It is going to get to a high of 79 today, low of 64, but drizzles and then maybe some thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. I have a feeling my championship softball game scheduled for 6 o'clock today is going to get rained out.
Yeah.
Which is the least of my problem.
Who are you playing against?
Actually, we're playing against my uncle and my cousin are on the other team. I've been playing against them for, 30 years, and it's like it's a good rivalry.
Yeah.
Love them. I mean, it's family.
Is that like a pass the potato situation with the ring finger type thing?
It should be.
Yeah, that's what I'm just wondering.
But we beat them 2 weeks ago,
okay.
and so this was but
we win tonight. We win tonight.
Right. And Freddie, and I like Mason. I don't know if you noticed this. They flip-flopped Freddie and Quintana. So actually, Freddie's day was supposed to be yesterday. But Freddie's been, I hammered this during Thunder at the Fair last week. Freddie's really been struggling since the All-Star break. His 4 performances, 5 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings.
Yeah,
he's walked. He's walked like 3, 4, and 2. When in the 4 previous starts he had walked 1, 1, and 1 before the All-Star break. I think this is like a mental reset. I think Murph felt this out. I think he figured out hey, Freddie needs a day.
Yep.
Just get your mind right. It's a human, whatever day he had this week to just take off.
Yep.
He had a human Mason Crosby day.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm excited to see, that doesn't mean he goes 8 innings of shutout ball tonight. He's still Freddie and we'll still see what happens.
But you might be able to stretch him a little bit.
Yeah, you could stretch him, or maybe his pitches are just a little sharper. I'm excited to see what he can do. Again, managing expectations. Just because he got the extra day doesn't mean he's going to be amazing. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt at this point, and that Murph is pulling all the right strings.
Well, and I think that's exactly right. Well, and also you have a matchup against an elite pitcher on the other side, which is more likely than not going to happen in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
you're going to be matched up against their best guy. when playoff time comes. So it's good to have those matchups line up in this time of the season, so that you can kind of just have that mindset where you don't have to pitch in any different. You don't have to like pitch better than Skeens in a way, right? You just have to do your thing.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
that's always always a good little testing point. Yeah, because
it's a great point.
It's hard not to look across and watch everything that's going. Like I wouldn't watch a ton of field goals. I'd watch the operation. And then I just kind of, get the reaction. Like I wouldn't watch their kick, how they flew, we're kicking the ball in pregame, all of that, because you just don't want to gather that and put that into your mind and your business. Because, again, there's some guys that can rip a ball. Paul Skeens he can go. He brings gas. He can do it. So Peralta can't look at that and try to do anything different with his game.
Yes, I love that. Just do you. Don't worry about what's happening on the other side. I love it. Nick Osen, 24/7 Sports, covers our Wisconsin Badgers. He's at camp in Platteville, right there. It's Platteville, right? Tommy, Platteville.
Last week was in Platteville. I think they're back in Madison now.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So they do Platteville for the week, back in Madison, but he's at training camp for the Badgers. A Badger football check-in when we come back here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Yup.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Mitch, Thunder, Nelles, Mason Crosby with you on this Tuesday, gray morning in southeastern Wisconsin. We will see the sun again, and hopefully everything will dry up that needs to dry up, because I know we've seen already too much damage in our community with these floods, and hopefully it's hopefully it's in our rearview mirror at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. We are also live on YouTube for those of you who like to a little video with your audio. We are hanging out on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. Make sure you put the @ sign there, at The Fan Milwaukee. Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, Nick Osen from 24/7 Sports, covers the Wisconsin Badgers beat reporter. Nick, how you doing today, my friend?
Guys, I'm doing great. Been looking forward to this segment, covering a lot of Wisconsin football, and excited to dig into it a little bit further with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, Nick, really appreciate you jumping on. Are you you're there at camp today? Were you down in Platteville as well, or are you just there in Madison?
Yeah, absolutely, Mason. Yeah, we were out there with live coverage, every single day in Platteville, and I will say it was a blast. Obviously we'll get a little bit more into the football side of things, but I think from just a coaching lens and, just kind of a focus lens, I think it's a really smart thing to kind of get out to a spot where you're not worried about campus and other things, and you're just really locked in on the game of football and your teammates for like 2 straight weeks. I thought it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I saw some news about the Wisconsin center, Jake Renfro, getting injured, and uncertainty for the opener even. What's going on there, and who do you think will replace him if he can't go?
Yeah, Mason, so I will, of course, say that, but I will also say I think it is a positive, not that he got hurt, of course, but the status of that, okay. Because when we first saw it at practice, it was a little bit more worrisome, I would say, than week-to-week type of thing. And obviously, from your storied career, when you see big guys go down, that can lend itself to a little more worrisome injuries. So right now it's been Kerry Kadenko at center, first team with Jake Renfro out, and I think he's done a pretty good job. He's like a 5th or 6th year guy, has played a ton of football, can probably be relied upon at every single position, quite honestly, on the O-line. The guys love him, and it sounds like, speaking with Billy Edwards Jr. yesterday, it maybe took a few minutes to adjust, with some of the calls and obviously relationship building, but I think he'll be just fine. I think you probably hope to get Renfro by at least week 2 with a little bit of kind of buffer time before Alabama.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. From camp, who's been standing out for you? On both sides of the ball, like who's kind of been the guys that have showed you something so far in camp?
Yeah, Mason, there have been a lot of players. I think one that maybe isn't a shock if you followed a lot of our content and commentary, but maybe just to this extent, is running back Dylan Jones. I mean, nice. He looks like a true superstar, and I don't use that word lightly. Obviously, at an RBU like Wisconsin, he looks like the next NFL back. I think a name that'll probably be newer to some folks is tight end Lance Mason, transfer that came in around May, June, so didn't even have spring ball with these guys, and he has fit in seamlessly. It sounds like the mental side and really the culture aspect has been a perfect fit, and obviously he can play, of course. And then I'll give you another name defensively. It'll be interesting to see if he starts, obviously with the question marks around Niger Forturine's eligibility and kind of that ruling, but Emilio Agard, just a second-year guy. I think he's even technically a redshirt freshman from the class of 2024. Guys, he's a little bit shorter, like 5'9", 5'10", I'd say, at corner, but just technically speaking, probably has some of the best, foundational, fundamental skills on the team at DB. I think he's really, really impressed, and he's been one of my standouts, I think, 4 out of the 11 practices.
Awesome. We got Nick Osen on the Mason Crosby Show talking Wisconsin Badger football. We might dive into some other things, but we'll be deep into that. And I saw an article that came out as well about some of the, and I know this is Thunder's favorite thing, the power rankings for the Big Ten, and they had Wisconsin at 15. Do you think that's too high or too low? Where do you think that number stands? Yeah,
Mason, that's way too low. Obviously you guys have had me on enough. I am an optimist in terms of approach, but just even outside of that, like, it's a tough schedule, and they will have to get a marquee win or two to really be able to get back bowling. I understand that, but like you said, I've been at every single practice, most going back to the spring. This is a good football team. It's a better football team than we've seen the last 2 years. The culture's in a really good place. The roster is much better. Like, there's a reason there have been NFL scouts 4, 5, 6 days in a row checking these guys out. Nice. I think by my numbers, there are probably around 5 or 6, at least NFL guys just in this class. So all that to say, Mason, I think the Big Ten is loaded, of course. I mean, you've got, I think, 2 top 3 teams, like 5 ranked teams in the top 22. So I understand it's tough, but they're going to surprise some people, whether it's keeping things close on the road at Bama, maybe a win at the Big House, even Illinois, who's getting a lot of playoff buzz, something like that. I'm not saying, they should be number 2 or 3 in the Big Ten, but I think 15 is much too low right now.
I totally agree with that. Just the number that stood out to me was the Badgers ranked last year 102 nationally in passing with 197 yards per game. Like that, and they lost their last 5 games.
Is that not good?
Whenever they were like more, the traditional Wisconsin Badgers team, like how many passing yards, a game were they averaging then? I mean, I got to imagine it was still over 200 yards passing. Like, it wasn't like they just didn't pass the ball. So, like, do you see a shift back to the old school Badgers way, or a hybrid of that? Because Fickell has said that he's going to abandon just the traditional air raid offense and put more of a hybrid system in. Are you seeing that there at camp right now?
Yeah, Mason, I am. As a fan of football, which we all are, I think when this offense is hitting its stride, it's going to make a lot of Wisconsin Badger fans happy, quite honestly. I mean, they're running the ball. They tried to, of course, in this last offense. It just wasn't the best fit, and I think a lot of things went into that. But in this one, whether it's creative run scheme, wide zone, play action, like going deep, I think there's a lot of excitement with just some of the vertical aspects as well. So all that to say, it'll be much better than we've seen of late. I think it is still a growing process, and I'm not saying it's going to be 45 points every single game, but just the balance, the personnel, and then obviously the scheme from Jeff Grimes. I mean, there's a reason that, there's been a lot of excitement since the spring about some of his ideals, because it is just a better, more sensical fit for this program.
Nick Osen, 24/7 Sports, joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. And you talked, that the rankings are too low. We know the schedule is going to be tough. What do you say to fans, Nick, who last year were like, Fickell's got to go. The Badgers are terrible. They're not playing Wisconsin football. I'm out. I'm done with this team. This is like we're not even in the preseason 25, but then when you look at like the 25 teams who get votes, the Badgers aren't even getting one vote in any of the polls. Like, this is a debacle.
Yeah, what I would say to those those fans is, kind of like what I've said a couple times on this show. They don't really realize kind of the undertaking and overhaul that was needed with this program. It hasn't been perfect the last couple of years, and anybody that is part of it would say that. Like, I promise there's nobody in the program that isn't upset with the way things have gone. But basically, the offense didn't work, but just in terms of recruiting and more size, speed, athleticism, a lot of things needed to be done that I don't think fans knew about. And I don't blame the fans, for not knowing, right? A lot of people aren't kind of into all the intricacies of building a program, but I think these things take time. Sometimes you'll hit kind of luck in a bottle, like you maybe saw at Indiana, good football team, but also a really easy schedule for most of it. But this year, I think you do need to see progress, and frankly, I think you will. I think you'll look to keep some of those marquee games close, continue stacking notable wins in the recruiting department, get back to a bowl, and then I think things really will open up in 2026. But guys, like I am encouraged of what I've seen. I've been very measured with kind of some of the win-loss predictions and things of that nature, but I will put my name on it all, that if the top 3-4 guys can stay healthy, this is a better football team that will surprise some people.
That's awesome. Yeah. So let's see, where do we want to go? Tommy, did you have a question? Sorry, I was
Well,
checking all this different.
I mean,
all these different
we
things.
we got to ask about Billy, right? Billy Edwards Jr. Like, how's he looking right now, Nick? Because the quarterback position obviously has been something that the Badgers have not really figured out in the transfer portal or NIL era.
Yeah, Tommy, he's been good. Honestly, in the last week or so, I'd say he's been really good. We've talked about his leadership for a long time, since January, February. But now actually getting to see what he does, he's a little bit more mobile than people know about. He can make every throw, and his decision-making is good. I think at times, accuracy is still coming along with certain aspects, but I'd be really excited. Like, I can't think of a better one-year fit, if there had to be one from the portal, than a guy like Billy. I've been really happy with what I've seen for this Badgers program. Frankly, I think he's a guy that you wish you could have around 2 years, 3 years. I mean, he has really just taken hold of this team and the offense. And so it's going to be really intriguing. I mean, he didn't have to do too much on Saturday for that open practice. They gave some of the younger guys a lot of reps. But Friday, he was lights out. And then I will even add another name, not just to start this year, but just for kind of the future of the program potentially and depth of the room. Danny O'Neal, another transfer, was absolutely lights out yesterday. He hit like 9, completions in a row, showcasing his mobility, his deep ball. Like, I'm excited about this room under Kenny Guyton. I really am.
That's awesome. Before we let you go, I got one last question for you, and I just want to ask, like, in the early, early part of this season, what team, if this Badgers team is going to show us that they're different, which game kind of stands out to you? I mean, you got to think Alabama, or is it once you get to kind of that Michigan game, if they can go and beat Michigan, which one of those early games kind of says, all right, this Badgers team is different if they could go and sneak out a win against one of those teams?
Yeah, Mason, I think it's probably Michigan or Iowa. I think you look to keep things, of course, very respectable, competitive against a team like Bama, a true title contender at home. But you definitely look to make somewhat of a statement there. Then
should be at least 3-1 in those first 4 games.
100%. Yep. Then it's back home against Maryland, I believe a bye. And then Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I think you look to go ideally 2-2 in kind of a mix like that. I do think they can beat Michigan. There are a lot of question marks just in terms of their offense right now for the Wolverines. Iowa's a very winnable game, and I know that game means a ton to this group.
All right. I like that. Well, Nick Osen with 24/7 Sports. You can find him at The Real Nick Osen on X. Really appreciate you jumping on. Enjoy your time there at camp, and we'll have you on again soon.
I look forward to it, guys. Thank you so much. As always, I really appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks so much, Nick. That's
Thanks,
Nick.
guys.
Yep, that's Nick Osen joining us on the Fan Gas Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Before we get to break, we do have to share some breaking news. Brian Gutekunst, of course, at the podium today, and leads with, if you were following Packers Twitter yesterday, you know that at the end of practice, LaFleur and Jordan Love and some trainers were huddled around Jordan Love, kind of looking at his thumb, it looked like. And I guess the announcement's been made that there will be a minor procedure on Jordan Love's thumb. Which thumb is that, Tommy? Is that
his left hand?
His left hand. Okay,
he sits on his left hand.
Yep, non-throwing hand. A minor procedure should not affect his availability for the regular season. And so he should be good to go. And again, it's his left hand, so it should not affect his throwing. And it's being done early enough that it shouldn't affect like cold weather or anything like that, because we still have warm weather for a couple months here. And
I wonder what I guess
like if he jammed it on a helmet or something.
I mean, but that's just kind of weird. Somebody, he must have just got stuck in a shirt, stuck on something. Maybe it just, a little tendon. They just, kind of patch it, kind of get it secured back up. But I do think those hand things do heal fairly quick. He'll probably have something protecting it, early in this season, but at least it's on his left hand. I mean, if it's regular season, I bet he's playing. It's like you got to think you're going to probably try to go if you can find some way to secure that thing up. But it's training camp, and weird. Now he's not going to play in another preseason game
There
because that is how this thing is going to start working. I've already said that is all these, this is obviously something serious. You don't go and have surgery if it's not something that you don't need.
Right.
But it's like all these little minor things start kind of getting on these guys, all the starters, all these veterans, and then they stop playing in any of these preseason games.
Is there any concern here, Mason, about the ability or lack of ability to heal from a surgery during a season? Like, he's not really going to have off-season opportunity or down weeks to let it heal. Is there any concern about when you have an injury, even as minor as your offhand left thumb? Is there any concern about?
It's crazy to think about. They only have 2 weeks until they're in the first. It's like 2. I guess 1, 2. Yeah, I mean 2 full weeks until they're in that. If you include this week, 3 weeks until they're in that first game week for the regular season, which is kind of wild. So not a lot of time, but I mean stuff like that. I mean it's so like a hand. It's different than a knee. Like I'm probably more concerned about a Nate Hobbs.
Sure,
just being able to get back and be fully ready to go. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything significant. I don't. They would be probably more forthright if it was something like, wrist or something serious that they were going to really have to, have precaution around.
Got it. He is Mason Crosby. My name is Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. Thanks again to Nick Olson, 24/7 Sports, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Tons more to get to. More college football talk. Lots of Packers talk as well. The Brewers' winning streak is now at 10. The Crew faces a tough matchup tonight against Paul Skeens. We will go inside the clubhouse with Forbes baseball writer Drew Wagner this afternoon at 3:20 on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. That's live from the. No, that's nope. It's just today. Is that today? Drew Wagner, is that today?
He is today.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. I didn't want to say live from the Wisconsin State Fair though, because that part of the read probably isn't right.
Nope, that's not right.
But it is today. So Rami's filling in actually today. Rami Makloff will be on Wisconsin Sports Daily today. That's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Again, our thanks to Nick Olson, 24/7 Sports, for coming on talking some Badgers football. As we transition over to a little bit of Packers football, we shared the news. Jordan Love undergoing, I assume it's a minor procedure to fix something or do something with his left thumb. But is anything minor with your hands? Is anything minor on August 12th, Mason?
Says a ligament issue,
Okay.
which, again, I mean, I'm not quite sure what that means, but, it's one of those where, let's see, his left thumb ligament issue, that's why he had a tape yesterday, said he hopes Love's...
I don't foresee this affecting him long term.
He's going to be at practice next week. Yeah,
Okay.
so, I mean, I think this is one of those where... I don't know if something tore. I mean, I had this ligament issue, and who knows? It could be that like kind of top thumb, like the ligament on top of your thumb, or that tendon or something like that. And if something like that just either tears or rips, in high school back when I was an actual football player, I had this drop finger where I tore that tendon on top. I had to wear this like brace the whole time. It was really hard to like grab, and tackle like with that thing on. I had to like tape them together.
You didn't go Ronnie Lott.
I wasn't playing quarterback.
You didn't just cut it off like Ronnie Lott.
I should have just chopped that thing off, but that's my golf. Yeah, I need it for golf. But yeah, I can imagine that they're just kind of cleaning something up in there and just like maybe reattaching a ligament. I don't even know how that works, but what he said, it's not even like regular season. They're just saying like he'll be back to practice next week.
One of the biggest things, one of the biggest things I think about that, Mason, is handing the ball off. Because the quarterback isn't using their left hand for much, but they do use it. They do use it for handing off.
That might have been where he got it hurt.
Oh, that could be, on a handoff. And we know how important Josh Jacobs is to this team. And I know that we've seen quarterbacks do this awkward thing, where they take the ball back. And then even with the right hand, they turn to their right and hand it off like awkwardly.
Like backwards.
That backhand handoff. I don't think anybody wants that. So
no.
Does this concern you at all with the hand, with handoffs more than affecting his throwing game?
I'm not concerned right now.
Okay.
No, I think it's
you're
one of those.
You're going sunshine.
I'm a sunshine guy. Yeah, sunny days ahead.
Yeah.
It's
Andy Herman.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where it's like, okay, this clearly is something that needs to be addressed. Yep. He just had something, an issue with the ligament in his thumb, and they're gonna sort it out, and he'll be back to practice next week. Like unless they tell us otherwise, and unless they have to amputate the thumb or something,
let's not do that.
God forbid. Yeah. Then I don't think we should be overly concerned at this moment from what we're hearing out of there. Sure, we can speculate.
Sure.
We can
that's our job. That's part of our job.
I did see a highlight of him handing off, because we're going to talk a little bit about Josh Jacobs and the other running backs, where it looked like he got a little stuck on the handoff. It was just literally one-on-one, like just doing handoff drills, and Josh accelerated, and it looked like he kind of got stuck in there. And who knows?
So maybe they collided at an awkward angle on the handoff.
Yeah, think about it. You get your thumb trapped in there between the pads and the ball or something, or it just something gets moved around in there. That can happen. I mean, that probably happens all the time. You're probably lucky most days that you don't have anything significant whenever you're doing a million handoffs and you're doing all of those things.
Well, he had to have done this sometime between the game and today, right?
Yeah,
this wouldn't have been.
It had to have happened at practice yesterday.
Because it was at practice, yeah.
Yeah, because after practice yesterday is when they were all huddled around looking at his thumb, working on his thumb. So it had to have been something at practice.
Here's the direct
quote. Has he had a hand thing before? He had a hand issue. Was it last year or his first year?
Tommy, what do you got from Goody?
Jordan is having a little procedure done on his left thumb that he hurt in the game. We'll put him out a little bit of a while. Hope to have him back at practice next week, and shouldn't miss any regular season time.
So it happened during the game.
Interesting. Okay.
Thummy.
Yeah, and
can you do this right now?
No, I cannot.
He can't.
I
Jordan
can't. No,
Jordan
it won't
can't
bend.
move
It's
his-
stuck like this.
I think you guys are way underselling this right now, by the way. Like,
What do you
this should absolutely be a little more concerning than
No,
I think it's
I'm
nothing.
concerned.
This
I'm
is a
concerned
guy
about
that
it.
he was hurt
I voiced
immediately
concern.
last year, Mason. Like, this is a guy that we're waiting to see at full health
So
now.
we're more concerned about overall like fragility of like, can he get through a whole season without being injured? That's
Well,
what we're saying.
I mean, last year he was injured immediately in week 1, and then the entire year it seemed to plague him, right? Oh, he couldn't be as mobile, or, hey, we never saw Jordan Love at full 100% health.
The knee was an issue all last year.
And I
We all
understand
agree.
that affects his game much more than his non-throwing hand as well.
Sure.
But,
Yes.
like, we should
But
also
you're just worried
be...
this is going to stack up. Or like this is just the start of a string of potential injuries.
I don't think Jordan Love can afford to give up percentage points. Like, Jordan Love cannot afford to be rocking at 95%. Jordan Love cannot afford to be rocking at 90%.
I would say on throwing arm or lower extremities, yes, not at all. But left thumb at this moment. So I'm not looking at past things. I'm not looking at all that. I'm just saying at this moment, I'm not concerned about where he's going to be at come regular season. And honestly, like, I think it's okay to have a little week of rest or whatever. Like, now he's not going to have to go to Indianapolis and practice against those yahoos doing dumb things over there.
Right.
Stupid Colts.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah,
also
'cause
not going to be able to do the joint practices. And, like, this is more
that's what I'm saying.
not
Yeah,
getting...
I don't want him in those joint
I
practices.
get it, but, like, there hasn't been a lot
Some
against
idiot
an
hitting
opponent.
his throwing hand and breaking his his throwing hand.
Correct. And I'm not saying that he should muster through this and try to play through it or anything. I'm just saying that I would be concerned about the lack of reps he's going to have against actual opponents.
You just
as
feel like
opposed
it's
to
stacking up,
Right.
with how he was injured last year. Some of the the tendencies that we're seeing with his tenure here as the starting
But
quarterback.
not necessarily from like an injury prone standpoint, but again, like Jordan Love needs more impressive looks against defenses that are not his own right now.
He obviously
And
needs to
he's-
throw the ball to his receivers as much as possible because they're still
They need to
dropping
catch
the
the-
ball.
and they need to
Yeah,
catch the
I mean,
ball.
yeah, wherever that needs to be, however that needs to be, they need to
So-
get on the same page.
All right, hold on.
For sure.
So what I'm hearing is big picture, not even just left thumb situation, but big picture. Tommy, you're concerned about Jordan Love. Like, you have concerns about Jordan Love, and so you want, in order to get maximized Jordan Love, you're concerned about anything that goes
But
on.
you should
like
be
this.
happy. We get to see more Malik Willis because that's what you
Oh,
wanted from
relax.
the beginning, right?
Relax.
This is why
That's
he's
such a
this
natural
is just
thing to
actually
say.
a Malik Willis facade.
Oh, my
Right.
gosh.
This is all Mason Crosby just like totally baiting everyone.
Did
hurt his
Malik-
thumb
He's
in
not
the game?
concerned that Jordan's not playing because he thinks Malik should be the starter. That's probably what it is.
Let's put
right?
out another poll.
No.
Let's put it
So
out.
big picture, Tommy, are you concerned about Jordan Love achieving his potential so that the Packers can achieve their potential?
Anyone who is not somewhat concerned when their starting quarterback is not at 100% is not, like, that's football. You need your starting quarterback to be at 100%. You would want to see your starting quarterback at 100%, especially to start the season when you have to go up against the Lions, who are now everyone is expecting to either stay the course or Dan Campbell's going to have to go out. Like, they're the favorite to win the division. And this is, again, already going to be a sloppy football game because week 1 is always a sloppy football game. And you're not going to have your quarterback at 100%. I don't know how much it's going to affect this game. I really don't. But I just don't want, the fragility of coming with Jordan Love
Well,
now.
Why do you don't know what the procedure? He might be 100%. Like, I mean, it's his left
He might
hand.
be.
It's a ligament thing. He's going to be at practice next week. They're not going to practice him if he's not, pretty much, fully healthy, and they don't see another risk of injury. So I see him being in 3 weeks being 100%. Like, that's my mindset.
All right.
Unless something else happens.
And we obviously we hope you're right, Mason.
Have someone from Twitter reach in. Justin
know.
Amandro said not too concerned. He should be good for the start of the season.
Thank you, Twitter MD, Justin
Amandro.
I hate Twitter doctors.
Yeah.
Football Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Yeah, I mean, we have to get this out there on Nicolay Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. Call in, text, tell us, like, are you concerned? Are you worried about Jordan Love and his availability and his health come week one? Is this something that you just feel like is a blip on the radar? He's going to be back in practice next week, and he gets a week of rest and recovery, and just a little rehab session, and we'll be back at full strength. Just hit us up. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Can I be in between? Like, I'm not overly concerned, but I'm not concerned. Like,
again,
I am concerned about this.
I am. I'm a cautiously optimistic guy. So I'm cautious, because I'm like, it could be, it could linger.
I'm cautiously in the middle.
Okay,
I'm not optimistic or pessimistic.
You're not optimistic.
I'm just cautious.
You're just cautious.
I'm cautious about Jordan Love's left thumb.
Okay.
You're at like a 5.5 out of 10.
Right, right. And I feel like Mason's at a 3, maybe a 2. Tommy, you're at like a 7.5.
I would say 7 is probably the number
Okay.
I'd say.
Right.
Again, I don't think Jordan Love
fits.
And again, this is all actually coming from a place of love for Jordan Love. I would like to say this, that I just think that it's going to be another thing people point to when successes don't stack. And that's something that I don't think Jordan Love can afford right now, where he should be playing at 100% as much as possible. And when it's, you get news that leads the press conference with Brian Gutekunst of Jordan had a procedure, we don't expect him to have any time missed during the regular season, makes me think, well, now Jordan Love's not going to see the field until the regular season. And the offense was not a highlight so far of training camp right now.
Yeah, they're a little rusty, just a little off. But I don't know. I think. Yeah, it's,
do you trust the O-line?
I'm just going to give you. I'm going to give you. The info. Like, nobody is 100% healthy.
Sure.
Once that season starts rolling.
Right, but you want them to start the season healthy. Like,
I wish everyone could, but that's not going to do the case either.
I know.
I mean,
do you trust the
100% healthy is not an option.
To me, a lot of it comes down to you trust the O-line. Like, this is
honestly
your quarterback. Do you trust the O-line?
I mean, I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I love how this O-line has shaped up at the moment. I know Elgie's going to be fine. Jenkins is going to be fine. He's just Elgie.
That Tommy. Okay.
But he doesn't. He's thrown a couple snaps over the head, and he's done a few things. Like, they need a lot more time. And I think this week against the Colts, I think they might just have one joint practice, right? They're just going on Thursday.
Yeah, I think that's right.
This week is that practice is going to be important for that O-line, and you hope that whole starting unit can at least get a solid practice worth of work against an unfamiliar opponent, against rushers that they don't know a lot about, and can just find some cohesiveness. Because Jenkins is a great offensive lineman, but he's changing positions. You brought in a new guy in Aaron Banks. You got Tom. You're kind of some question marks. Is Rasheed Walker healthy? Who's going to be there at left tackle? And then I'm not sure Sean Ryan's the guy there at left guard. So, I mean, you just have to, why is it automatically that Elgie just goes to center? Why don't they still have that option that, Sean Ryan, someone else could be that starting center? And Elgie, if you have those two guard spots shored up, you can kind of cover up a little bit at center, I feel like. But if that left guard, if you have a guard that the center can't help them as much as a guard could help a center. So
let's continue this,
in my opinion.
Yep, let's continue this conversation into the 10 o'clock hour. How much do you trust the offensive line? We also want to talk about Lucas Van Ness. We want to talk about Josh Jacobs. We want to talk about Matthew Golden. And how concerned are you about Jordan Love having surgery on his left thumb? There's a little ligament situation. He should be back at practice before the regular season. He should be healthy for the regular season. That's what Brian Gutekunst said We will keep our eyes on that. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. The Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. And remember, if you miss any parts of today's show, you can listen anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search The Mason Crosby Show on your favorite app. Hit the follow button. That's important. Hit the follow button. You can catch up on every episode, every hour, every highlight, whenever works for you. You are listening to The Mason Crosby Show. Today is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Mace, how you feeling?
I mean, I did the thing, and I deep dove into like WebMD.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Like,
all right.
Because I couldn't do this when I was playing. It was like I wouldn't go down that rabbit hole, and I wouldn't. It's just like, all right, they say a couple weeks. It's like, all right, let's lock in. Let's just do that process.
Right.
It was all that. Now I'm like, I'm on this other side. I'm like, okay. This is crazy. There's no way he's coming back in 2 weeks from a torn ligament and having surgery. So I looked at the word, though, and I'm like they said, like Goody said, ligament, which, again, usually they don't say like those, like a specific.
Right. He has a thumb.
And he's having a procedure on it. So I looked at that, and I'm like, a ligament surgery, if it's like that, the main ligament in your thumb, I mean, there's some cases where like you have to wear a cast, like it has to be immobilized. Yep. So I'm not sure what that looks like, but the thing is you've seen that they can put that little thumb cast and that hard, that kind of brace on that thumb. And I mean, it's going to be tough, but he could probably play with it and be able to, like, he's going to have to adjust his handoffs, taking the snaps, doing all of those things, because I mean that thumb it's going to be rigid and tight for the foreseeable future. Are
you a little more concerned?
I'm like a 4 now.
You're like a 4? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I don't get over 5 very easily.
Yeah.
So
No. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. And I know we want to dive a little bit into Lucas Van Ness, who had the best practice in the history of practices yesterday, according to Andy Herman, and then Josh Jacobs in the backup running backs as well. Let's start with Lucas Van Ness, and we heard if you were listening to Pack-A-Day Radio, you heard Rashawn Gary talking about how he was impressed by Lucas Van Ness, how he reminded him a little bit of himself. And Tommy Wirtz's brain absolutely exploded because he said, if he reminds you of you, like that's not who we want. That's not what we're looking for. We want better. We want, you're a first-round pick. We don't want another Rashawn Gary. We want another guy who's like okay but underperforming. Well, we deserve better.
I think it's how Rashawn Gary, views himself. Obviously got paid, and is like active and doing all the stuff. And,
self-awareness, a 99 overall on Rashawn Gary.
He feels good about where he's at, and he's a confident guy. And confidence is one of those pieces, but I don't think you want, I think the exact thing is you don't want Van Ness to be like Rashawn on the other side. You need a different type of pass rusher on the other side of the ball, because I think if we're doing the same thing,
get to the quarterback?
That would help. Yeah. That would help. Like, again, Rashawn Gary, and I've said this, and like he's still working, I think, to get tools in his tool bag on how he was, can be effective rushing the passer. Yep. Because his first move, I told you, guys didn't like it, but they knew what he was going to do. Like whenever he was a rookie, maybe even in his second year, he was going to bull rush, and they would just, get ready for it. And his moves were late, and he just, by the time you absorbed his bull rush, he couldn't do anything to get to the quarterback.
Right.
So Van Ness only had that as well. So if he doesn't take a progression, but it looks like he is, right? I think the positive is it looks like he is. And I asked this question to y'all this morning is, like, are we as fans, like, do we put too high expectations on guys in their first couple years? Like, it's like, did we expect him to be a world beater right out the gate? Because there are sometimes. Some of these guys do come out. But in year 3, if Van Ness has a solid year, gets, 6, 7 plus, sacks.
6, 7
is really good. Just is solid. Do we look at that as a win, or is that still like, all right, he's not what we want?
Well, here's
13th
some
overall
numbers.
pick. 13th overall pick.
So you look at
that's part of it.
The height of the pick.
Listen, that's AJ Hawk's life, right?
Yeah.
That's AJ Hawk's life.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Mitch. And I also will say this, that last year, Lucas Van Ness, in year 2, he had 10 pressures, that is hurries plus knockdowns plus sacks, in 17 games last season.
Yes. So he's available and not getting it done.
I will say this, that in 15 games in year 2, Rashawn Gary had 19 pressures, so not a whole lot either. So maybe if he was saying he reminded him of year 2 him, he was all over it. But year 3, there was a massive jump for Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary had his career high in pressures with 47 pressures that year.
Yep.
That is a great amount. That is a solid amount, and he obviously worked that into a contract because he had a very solid year.
Almost 3 a game. Yep.
Very good timing. Lucas Van Ness needs to get a number that's way more impressive than what he's had so far right now. He went down.
40-plus pressures is what he needs.
Well, he went down from his rookie year even, and his rookie year was underwhelming. He had 12 pressures his whole rookie year.
How many sacks did he have last year? And
3.
How many has Rashawn Gary averaged over his?
Rashawn Gary, the last year at 7.5.
That's why I said 7. Because I'm like, if you get above 7, you might be leading this team in sacks.
You have way.
I'd like to get there.
That was not a number you should have said out loud. Like that was not.
But I know that irks you to your core because I remember you reading off Rashawn Gary's sack numbers, and you're like, is that the backup pass rusher for some?
No, yeah, it was Danico Autry.
Yeah, Danico Autry,
who's another guy who's a solid NFL player, has put together a very good career, but Danico Autry wasn't getting Rashawn Gary contracts. So I think that what Rashawn Gary needs to do is get back to those numbers. Last year, Rashawn Gary had 26 pressures. Like, that's just not enough for being the top edge rusher on your team. Again, didn't miss a game, started every game as well for Green Bay. If Lucas Van Ness got to 26 pressures as the second edge rusher, maybe you could have a little bit more of nice, okay, thank you, Lucas Van Ness, for showing something.
Yep.
But Rashawn Gary needs that number. I don't care what he does in the run game. I really don't. I mean, quite frankly, he doesn't get paid to stop the guy for a 2-yard
Sorry,
gain.
did you say how many pressures did Rashawn Gary have last year?
26.
Goodness.
That's
1.5
not
a game.
good.
That's not good.
No, and the year before he had 30 and again played every game.
So he's going the wrong direction.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
so
that's not ideal.
It's not ideal at all. 56 pressures. I bet you whoever TJ Watt probably had 56 pressures last year. And I understand he's a guy
and he
who's
didn't play half the games.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Just looking at that.
Real quick. We've all been praising. I think since the end of last season, we've all been praising Jeff Hafley. We all feel in general that this defense is a good defense.
Yeah.
Points given up, yards given up. The way McKinney came in and what the linebackers have done. When does the pressure mount on Hafley that you got to get like you keep telling us that you want 4 to get to the quarterback? You want to use 4. You don't want to use 5. They only blitzed, what did Andy Herman say, like 17% of the time, which is in the lower half of.
Why is he opposed to blitzing, though? That's what I don't understand.
If you're telling us you have the personnel or the scheme to get there with 4, but you don't get there with 4, either you're delusional or you're just wrong.
Or there's a disconnect between the coaching staff and the personnel department, where it's like he's saying all these things and they just are not put. Like, it's like, who your defensive coach is. If he doesn't want to blitz, like, you have to get guys on that front that are going to get to the quarterback. Like, you have to, like, that's the personnel's job. And how Green Bay operates, it's very separate. They don't operate like in hand in hand. It's just like, all right, these are the players you have. Now go out there and coach these players because we think they're the best available and the best guys that we want in this building. So now go in and coach them up and get them to do what you need them to do. Because that's just how it's been there in Green Bay. And I do think Hafley is, though, fortunately, the type of coach that is willing to put aside what he's always done, what he's, kind of like what he wants to do, and he's going to take what the players can do and try to get the best out of them, because that's what a great coach does. Good coaches just try to, coach a scheme and throw players out there, wherever they fit. And great coaches will build schemes around the players they have and get them to be, pull out the best from them.
Well, is it a knock on the personnel on the defensive line, or is it a knock on the personnel elsewhere on the defense, though, then at that point? Because obviously if they are reluctant to go with more than 4 in pressure situations, it's probably because they don't have the same faith or love in their secondary at the same time to be able to create some coverage sacks along those ways.
I mean, I guess that's part of it.
I mean,
that
they're all
wasn't
connected.
necessarily an issue
They're all
last
connected,
year.
though.
Like they didn't get a lot of pressure, and they still had a good defense.
Correct.
You know? So,
Correct.
So I don't think that was necessarily. I think they have confidence in linebackers and the DBs. So they're just like, all right, if we can try to ramp up that pressure, we're going to be even better. But let's not give up, some of that coverage, and let's not just give up big plays. I mean, they're definitely a bend don't break type of defense.
Yeah.
And I mean that's. I know. People have mixed emotions about some of the coordinators in the past, but some of our best teams were when we had those types of defenses, right? Whenever it was like, just don't give up a ton of points. You might give up some yards. You might let them move the ball, but then you're going to make plays in critical moments when you need to.
At least Dom Capers can be like, hey, we had Clay Matthews, right? Like you had a guy who at any moment could be a game wrecker and make
Charles
something.
Woodson. I mean, yes.
Right. But I mean, on that
Peppers,
specifically on rushing the passer, right? Like, I don't know if there is that with this Green Bay Packers team where we're going to try to go with four, and if they want to beat us on that way, sure, but we have a guy like a Rashawn Gary who can get in there whenever we need that.
Right?
Yeah.
We keep getting sold that it's Rashawn Gary, that on any given play, he can get home. And he doesn't.
He has digressed.
Right.
I mean, he's gone down since he's gotten paid. So, yeah, it's interesting. I think if you're Isaiah Simmons and you want his athleticism on the field, you have to put him in rush situations. If he's busting coverages and doing things like that, it's like why not add 5? Let him be your 5th guy that rushes the passer. 2 out of the 3 plays. He's just on the line. He's moving around. You get him very active in the in that line.
Right.
Like they did with Quay at times last year.
414
and it really helped him.
It did. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Do you need more from Rashawn Gary and LVN this year? And do you expect more, seeing that it's LVN's 3rd year and guys do take that leap? Rashawn Gary did take that leap from year 2 to year 3. And does LVN being better make Rashawn Gary better? Does it make the linebackers better? Does it make the secondary better? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. TMP Walkie says, Tommy, this is regarding Jordan Love. It'll be all right. It's football. If you have not been through a season with Randy Wright in Green Bay, which is way before your time, you have nothing to worry about. And then he says Favre played better, a little injured. And T, you're not wrong about that, but Jordan Love is not Brett Favre.
Yeah, I mean,
that's talking one of the all-time generational quarterbacks.
Brett Favre had a great running game too, though.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
let's not pretend like Brett
Like-
wasn't popping 8 Vicodins or whatever too before he's going out there either.
They weren't testing the same
Yeah,
way.
he was talking like Aaron Rodgers' Southern accent after a Bears victory too. It was 100% this is not something that Brett Favre was just built-in toughness all on his own. He had the use of some other stuff along the way too that has been exposed in the
obviously
future
well
as well.
documented and a
Yes.
problem for him.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I would love it if my quarterback just went out there on vibes instead of on Vicodin.
Vibes are great.
Vibes,
it's just
not Vicodin.
let's make a shirt. There
All
you
right.
go. Vibes, not Vicodin.
Also from Brian Gutekunst today at the podium, he talks during preseason. He talks every Tuesday, talking about Christian Watson, who will most likely start the season on the PUP. But after those 4 games are up, Brian said, quote, that Watson will be chomping at the bit. It's going to take a lot of us to hold him back.
Can he rush the passer?
He probably can. Can he start 20 yards deep?
Although,
and time it just right?
To be
I mean,
fair,
at least Christian Watson's never had a drop issue, so whenever he comes back,
Oh
we'll be
my
solid.
God!
damn, that was the meanest thing
Wow.
you've said, I
Wow.
think, since this has been
Well,
up.
I mean,
Aaron Rodgers would still be on the Packers if Watson had caught that pass.
I know.
Can I say that?
That Vikings game.
Aaron Rodgers would still be on the Packers today if Christian Watson had caught that pass.
But that he does add an element.
He adds an element.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm just throwing smoke there.
And I don't know if he's necessarily a 1, Mason, if you believe that, but at least to have some sort of threat on he can beat someone down the field.
Yeah.
The Packers do not have
he's a
that.
weapon down the field.
And it
no
just
doubt.
doesn't. When they don't have him, they are worse, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
this again interesting for
He
Matt
stretches it.
Schneidman. Matt LaFleur, who's talking, I think, who just talked. He talked after Brian Gutekunst, was asked if there were any thoughts to canceling joint practice with the Colts, given the number of injuries. Apparently, Matt LaFleur said no while nodding his head yes.
No way.
So he said no.
I know. I read some of his comments,
That's
and he's
interesting.
obviously he's worried about the injuries that are mounting up. I mean, and it's getting to be fairly significant. It looks like a lot of calves, a lot of groin injuries. Just kind of some weird things that are popping up, and you never know what what the reasons are for that. I've been talking to Nolan and his buddies, and I'm just like, I do think sometimes it's supplementation, and like guys have to be careful. It's like you're out there, you're running, you're doing all this stuff, you're trying to recover, you're throwing other things in your system, and if that starts kind of like reacting in your body, like you just see all these muscle tissue issues going if you're taking water out of those places. So you just got to be careful with that. I don't know if that's the reason, but it seems to be like these calves and the groins and the hamstrings and all of that.
Well, remember when Clay
up.
Matthews was the king of having and people would just rail. But
During
people would
Clay had a
rail against
hamstring
the training
injury?
staff about the number of hamstring injuries and the number of like the soft tissue injuries, and why are the Packers always at the top of the league with these? And I know Clay, you're right, he was the poster child, but he probably just didn't want to
training
practice.
Training camp Clay hamstring might be questionable at times.
Fair.
It was probably a little soreness in there.
Is there any way in these joint practices, I was thinking about this, can you protect yourself while other guys are trying to kill you? Like we talked a lot yesterday about how guys just need to be smarter during training camp, even in joint practices, about protecting each other.
Yeah.
Are there ways you can protect yourself, even knowing the Colts are just like crazy animals?
They're going to have those conversations, and it's going to be like, protect yourself, protect the players on the other team, all the stuff. You're not supposed to just because they're joint practices doesn't change how you practice. You're not supposed to take people to the ground and tackle full, but somebody's going to launch and rock someone, and then it's on. It's just the nature of the beast, and it's these joint practices are just a scary space. Sadly, you're going to see more injuries. It's just how it works whenever you go full speed against another team, because all those guys are trying to show not just their team now. They have an opportunity to have the Packers really close, watching all this stuff unfold on a day, for that one day in practice, and it just I think it's a risk. Obviously, they're doing it more and more and willing to do it. But I think you're just going to see more and more injuries come out of it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the team looks like, what that shows up on Thursday in Indy.
And last thing on this too is I think as we talked about Van Ness a lot and Rashawn Gary in this pass rush, our best anytime. Like think about the interior linemen that Clay Matthews had playing with him as well, and who was on the other side of the ball for a lot of that, those times as well. Those interior guys do a lot to free up those edge guys. That's Cam Hayward there in Pittsburgh does a lot to help TJ Watt get to the quarterback.
Not today he doesn't. He doesn't. He might be sitting out into the season, Mason.
Yeah, well, but
he is not happy. He's not happy about how the Aaron Rodgers thing happened. He's not happy about the TJ Watt thing.
That, right?
Yeah, he is not happy right now. Go get him. Let's go.
Go get him. But I will say, so the bigger jump, another big move, and they need to unleash Kenny Clark. They need to get Devontae Wyatt. They need to get these guys playing really well and just unlock those edges for those guys to go. And if those guys are playing great and they're being impactful inside, and the edge guys can't get there, then you know who the issue is, right?
Yes.
And then you can make a change
point.
if you need to. So, but I just think it all ties together, and those interior guys are so important to unlock those edge guys.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Also find us on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. Lots more still to come. More Packers talk. Maybe take a sneak peek at the top 25 poll. Did we get Tommy? Did you see any of the NBA stuff? Did we get the Bucks? I didn't see the Bucks schedule come out yet.
Well, I saw that the Bucks will be playing on MLK Day. I saw that they got announced
hosting?
as one of those. Do
we know if it's hosting or not?
I don't remember off the top of my head. No.
All right, so we will. So I know opening night's announced. I know that Christmas Day is announced. No Christmas game and only one Eastern Conference game. 4 Western Conference games on Christmas. So we'll keep our eyes and ears out for that. And
do the Bucks not play on Christmas a lot?
It's the second year in a row. They played like 4 or 5 years in a row. Last year they did not. And despite Giannis, the team is not getting the Christmas Day respect that they deserve.
Seriously.
Yep. Which is both good and bad. And now that there's NFL games, like, do we even want the Bucks playing on Christmas? If you football guys are going to watch football. I mean, I'm going to watch NBA on Christmas.
It looks like the 19th, that Monday, Bucks are playing at Hawks.
So is that MLK Day? Because the Hawks is like that is the crown jewel of the MLK days. Like they do a huge, with Atlanta, he's got Atlanta
January
roots.
19th.
Yeah, that's a big deal to have the Atlanta game. So that's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. Lots more still to come. Stay tuned. He's Mason Crosby.
Yeah, buddy.
It's the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Remember, if you miss any part of today's show, you can find us anywhere you find your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Odyssey, all the places. Just search the Mason Crosby Show, hit the follow button, get every minute of the show your way and on your time. All right, Mason, I feel like every segment we're just doing a check. Like, you feeling okay? You good? Yep. Yeah, everything's
awesome.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got planned today?
What do I got going? I got to go to I hate going to the doctor, but I got to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Just do a yearly checkup.
Don't be one of those dudes who never go to the doctor. Like, go to the doctor.
I went to the doctor every year forever.
I know. So you're used to it. You know it's important.
So I got to do my
yearly
checkup.
Guys, anybody listening out there, get your yearly. Just do,
I'm going to go get my blood work done, do all my stuff, make sure that
still human.
I'm still upright for a little bit.
Nice. Good to hear. Excellent. Very good.
Molly takes good care of me. She makes sure that I'm going. So I do want to talk about the NCAA Top 25 though.
Yeah.
I think we should dive into that a little bit.
Let's do that. So last week on Thunder at the Fair, I did this thing where I read the not just the top 25. But I read all the teams also receiving votes. All right, we know there's 25 teams in the top 25, right?
Okay.
Duh. But BYU, Utah, Baylor, Louisville, USC, Georgia Tech, Missouri, Tulane, Nebraska, UNLV, Toledo, Auburn, James Madison, Memphis, Florida State, Duke, basketball school, Navy, Liberty, Malik Willis, Iowa, TCU, Pittsburgh, Army, Louisiana, not LSU, Louisiana, and our best friends in the world with one vote, our besties, the Colorado Buffaloes.
Colorado got that.
Surely
one.
You missed a name on there.
That's what they got.
That is what I'm saying, Mason Crosby. Surely
That's a lot of teams.
We went from 94 to 2018 or 2019 or the pandemic or whatever, where we wouldn't even have to check the others receiving votes because we know that our Wisconsin Badgers are in the top 25.
Yeah.
We know that they're there. They're
just
not
competitive.
They're not
and
in the top 25. They're not even in the next 20. I don't know how many names I read there, probably 20 more names. The Badgers they can't even get one. The Colorado Buffaloes.
Do you know anyone on their team right now? Do you know
Kaden Salter.
Who is that?
You don't even know who he is. He's going to be your starting quarterback this year.
I know who he is.
Okay,
I don't know who he
No,
is.
I thought you were talking to, Mitch doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but I'm just saying there's that's it, right? There's nobody. I mean, they lost everybody.
Aren't there any Sanders?
They just don't have a team like that they had for this last couple of years where you had names and they're getting one vote. So yeah. No, I was just trying to say that it's pretty bad that the Badgers
I know their coach
don't even get a vote.
Yeah. And so so I look at this and it's like we are we done pulling our hair out? And have we like gone to the next level of whether it's anger or prove it or lose it?
I think it's prove it. I think it's just like go earn it. Go earn it this year. Yeah. Like it's like, okay, who cares? This is a preseason poll, right? This is like your power rankings. It's preseason poll. Who cares? Until you strap it up and you put that helmet on, you go out there and play ball. This doesn't matter. You can prove all this wrong.
Yeah.
You go out there and you win. Say you go 3-1, you lose to Alabama, and then you beat Michigan, you beat Iowa. All of a sudden, you're going to be top 15 pretty quick.
Yeah, let's go.
Don't even try to.
I'm just saying though, like you can prove people wrong,
sure,
and that is what needs to happen. And if not, like I do think it's like what is going to change there? What happens there?
Yeah,
because it's like you have to prove some people wrong this year. Because you have a tough schedule.
You do,
right. I think you have to get to that, right? You have to be 4. So you probably got to be 5-1 before you go to that schedule if you want to have a successful season. That's how my mind works.
You can't even say that sentence without like a chuckle coming out after right there, because I mean it's just
focused, man.
Like
I'm focused.
They are so unserious this season.
They're
it's not
so
even.
Unserious.
It's so like
so.
Everyone was saying that about Milwaukee and the Brewers because they were the top team and didn't make it they didn't make a deadline move, and now the Badgers are rocking out there with a guy who's going to be bagging fries in 5 years at quarterback, and then a coach who has completely changed a culture that was winning for 25 years already beforehand.
Yeah, good change,
so,
right?
I mean,
by the way,
you want to talk about unserious, man? Unserious Wisconsin Badgers football.
All right, can we talk about how unserious Graham Mertz is?
Yeah, that was tough. Yeah. That was tough.
He threw 3 touchdowns.
Florida claims
three
him.
Interceptions for the Texans against the Vikings last weekend.
Yeah, Florida claims him, though.
Yeah,
Wisconsin doesn't claim him anymore.
All right, so the big surprise here, Mason, it has to do with 2 different things about who came number 2.
Yep.
Not only did Penn State come in at number 2 ahead of Ohio State, which I think people were surprised about, but they're only 5 points behind Texas for number 1. Texas at 1552, Penn State at 1547, and then 70 points later is Ohio State at number 3. How surprised were you that Penn State was ranked above Ohio State in these initial rankings, Mason?
Yeah, I see that. I see that they were above them in the coaches poll, but in that AP poll, yeah, I mean, I guess I thought Penn State, they were a great team last year. And then, they have proven to be a very solid team, year in and year out. And so I'm not surprised about that. I mean, Ohio State, again, they proved people wrong. Last year, they kind of got a little bit of, they got washed out a little bit. Everyone wrote them off whenever they didn't get a bye and win everything and do all of that. And then they just went and dominated the playoffs. So it's kind of one of those where, again, these rankings don't matter until the games start being played. Clemson, I'm surprised about being up that high.
Okay, Clemson. Here's my question about Clemson, Mason. What message does it send to the world of college football? I think Dabo Swinney's been very outspoken about that they don't do the transfer. He's kind of the Shaka Smart of college football.
Just building it from
we build
within.
our own and we are true to our own guys. What message would it send if they have an ascendant season? If they are a top 5 team throughout the season? If they are a highly ranked team in the playoffs?
I would love that. Mm-hmm. I'm all for that. And the fact that they're ranked number 4 in this initial poll is pretty impressive. Yeah. With all these moves, everything happening around the landscape of college football, that they can still stay competitive is fantastic.
Would it surprise
Tommy's team, Notre Dame at 6.
Yeah, we all love Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Notre Dame's the
UGA
best.
is always top 5. Yep. Oregon, okay,
that's fine. Alabama, LSU.
ASU at 11 is a little surprising.
Is there a chance Miami does it again? That they finish out of the top 25, under 500, that they just are terrible again?
Well, that was Florida State last year.
Oh, that was Florida State last year. That's right, not Miami.
Well, there is, I believe it's been like the last 10 years or something I saw where it's been a team that was not ranked finishes in the final top 10 poll.
Yeah.
So that happens every year. I understand that. But Miami has got Carson Beck this year. That's the change. That's the big change, right? Which I don't know how many people really were all in on Carson Beck, but he could have went to the NFL and he decided to go catch his bag in Miami.
He's the anti-Quinn Ewers. He's the smarter Quinn Ewers.
Yeah,
right?
That made no sense.
I will say this: I don't trust Clemson until they win a playoff game in this era. So I wouldn't buy anything in on Clemson yet. As far as Penn State being as high as they are. Again, I think James Franklin does a really good job of beating teams that he is better than, and he does a really bad job of beating teams that are better than him. Mm-hmm. So right now, according to – this is basically just an on-paper roster ranking, right? That's what they do in the beginning. I like Penn State this year, and I don't typically root for Penn State.
Are you rooting for Penn State?
They're gonna be tough.
No, I'm not rooting.
Their defense is really good.
You're buying Penn State.
I am. I think they have the best running back tandem in the country.
Are you buying Illinois at 12? Oh, go ahead.
They have Drew Aller coming back too. That's a big one. I do think
Illinois hype is bothering me.
Really,
I agree.
Yeah. I think they're going to be much more relevant this year than they were last year as well.
I just have a hard time.
I understand that Brett Bielema, everyone loves him up here. Yeah, but he's got those boys playing down there as well too, and Luke Altmaier, another just returning quarterback is a huge advantage in college football.
I think
he's
that's
a
fair.
senior. Yeah.
Mason, what do you think about that concept? That a team having a returning quarterback who played well last year, that gives any team a leg up, doesn't it?
So I mean, he's played. This will be his 4th season, or at least 4th season. I don't see a red shirt.
Probably 6th. Probably 6th.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But did he come? So he's from Starkville. Did he come with has he been at Illinois the whole time,
or did he come from Arkansas?
I'm not sure. Starkville's Mississippi, isn't it?
It's Mississippi, but south.
Yeah.
I could see him transfer with Bielema.
I mean, Bielema definitely had ties to the South, right? With being in Arkansas for however long he was there too. Didn't do well at Arkansas, but he turned around Illinois pretty well last year, and even 2 years ago they started to have some sort of momentum as well.
He was at Ole Miss for 2 years.
Yeah, so Altmaier was,
but he didn't play. He was like. He had 54 total pass attempts in 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone is now. To say, like, Cade Klubnik in Clemson and Drew Aller, I think, as well, like, those are, like, the only 2 guys that haven't moved. And they're quarterbacks.
This will be his 5th year.
Yeah, so right now, I think that the college football top 25 is an interesting topic to talk about, and I do think that there are some people who are not necessarily sold on Texas being the outright number 1, but they are the number 1 story, and I think that also got them a bump heading into the season.
Did Jerry Jones make that happen?
Do you think Arch Manning's the real deal?
I think that people saying Arch Manning is as good because of his last name are wrong. I don't think I think he is a very good quarterback. Yes, I do. I think he's going to be in contention for the number 1 pick. I do.
Yeah, the guy's a beast. 6'4", 219.
Right.
I mean, he has all the tangibles.
How many times were we saying last year,
like, run.
Was Quinn Ewers even the best quarterback on his team, right? Like, we saw Arch Manning last year ball out in some games.
I mean, it was crazy. He was, 61 of 90 for 939? How many games did he play? It was only
2 or 3.
A couple, right? Yeah, so 75-yard long for the pass, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like, yeah, I mean, he wasn't sacked a ton. He had a 184 rating. And Ewers was, 149. He played a lot more games, but I don't know. Matthew Golden, I didn't realize he had throwing stats last year.
Oh, yeah? What do you have?
1 for 2, 30 yards.
Let's go, baby.
Wow. When Jordan Love's thumb injury, it really becomes an issue.
Run the Randall Cobb offense with him. Let's go.
Throw that ball.
Yes, cannot wait. So college football's here. Like, I know the Badgers play their first game Thursday, August 28th. Miami of Ohio at the Wisconsin Badgers. An 8 p.m. kick. Is that real? Is that
so?
Right?
Tell me though.
8 p.m. I can't stay up that late.
Tell me, Mitch. Y'all don't think that this team can at least be 3-1 going into that Michigan?
Oh my gosh!
What? You don't think they're going to win 3 of those first 4 games?
I think the Badgers might win.
You think they're
going to
lose to Maryland? Miami of Ohio?
Here's another one. Here's another one right here.
Who are they losing to?
Tommy. I don't agree with that.
What do you mean? The Badgers schedule?
Yeah. Who are they losing?
Their first 4 games.
Yeah,
Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, they'll lose to Maryland.
Middle Tennessee,
lose to Maryland,
Alabama, and Maryland.
Do you know the spread? Unfortunately,
Maryland
it's not because of the
home.
Potawatomi Sportsbook here, because you can't bet on college in your own state.
But
what's the opening spread of Miami? You guys got a guess?
Badgers 6.5.
Oh gosh, okay, that would be really concerning if that's what it was.
Badgers minus 17.5.
17.5 is the spread right now. I will.
So what are you worried about?
I guarantee you Miami covers that.
Okay. Now we're talking betting lines. I'm just saying winning games.
Right, sure. But like the Badgers were blessed last year with the schedule at the beginning of, they played like South Dakota.
That's what it looks like this
else.
year too. So they need to get to 5-1, or they might. Who knows?
By the way,
guess if they go 5-1,
they will win
they
one
might still have a
conference
losing
game this year.
Have you guys seen the rest of the Week 1 matchups?
Oh yeah, with the college football slate is stacked.
They've gotten electric
Texas,
on that Week 1.
Texas at Ohio State in Week 1, just off the bat.
Didn't they want to move it to a night game, but Texas said that they wanted to keep it a day game?
It's 11 a.m. Somebody did. We almost wish Florida State was relevant again because Alabama's playing at Florida State, and Florida State's terrible. But we have number 9 LSU at number 4 Clemson. And then we've got
it's in Columbus.
Yeah, and then we've got Notre Dame at Miami. So so we have 3
Alabama,
top
Florida
10,
State's pretty fun too.
Right. 3 top 10 matchups. 3 top 10 matchups Week 1.
What do you think of the Florida versus Long Island matchup? Is
that
a good one?
You throw out the records when Long Island.
I wish the Badgers played in Long Island's
Long Island
conference.
really have a team?
Long Island University. It's a
LIU.
shark, I guess.
That's a basketball team. There's
what?
no way they're D1.
No, they're FCS.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That
LSU Clemson. That's fun. Yeah. I mean, that week one, Notre Dame Miami is pretty. That's pretty epic that they slated that.
Yes,
slated that for week one, the last game of the week.
Can I say this? Here's what I'll say. Actually, the Badgers will be 3-1 after 4 weeks. Okay,
they
will.
Thank you.
They will not win. They will not win a game after that, though. That'll be
my
right
gosh.
there. That's all it is. All right, because they will win 3 games this season. That is probably going to be the only conference game they win. And what
Washington is so bad.
Maryland, Mitch. What is Maryland? Not really a Big Ten team. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
so they're gonna lose. They're gonna get pounded all year. They're gonna go to Alabama and they're gonna get run out of the gym.
They're gonna get
in that
one.
one.
I mean, Alabama's gonna.
They're gonna lose to Iowa again. They're gonna probably lose to Washington by 40 at some point in the year. They're gonna have a couple ugly losses, and.
That's the one you choose is Washington though.
Yeah. No, they'll play serious against.
Horrible.
They'll play serious against like Michigan, and everyone will be like, "Oh, is it good? Like, are they not actually as bad as we think?" Because they'll lose by 17, but keep it to 10 for most of the second half.
Oh,
like, no.
Tommy Rance.
This is what it is.
Do it. Why do you do this to yourself?
You know why I do this? Because 0 times out of 0 or 100, I guess, because otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Is this your brother on the talking text
Colorado
line?
should not be better than Wisconsin. Say it how it is. It should not. It should not. And Colorado's going to have a better.
Why not?
Let's be real.
But why not?
Come on. I mean, like,
Deion's a joke.
What are we doing here? Like, no way. Colorado receiving a vote to be in the top 25.
But they are better.
Well, currently they are. Yes, they should. They should not be. Is what I'm saying.
We used to play actually that Colorado-Wisconsin matchup.
That was a good one.
They ran into each other a couple times in bowl games.
They sure did. Yeah. And in season opening games as well.
Yeah, there was we should get that back.
TNP Walkie says, check out Barry Alvarez's first 2 seasons. Not so good. Very different situation, though. He took over a program that was completely down in the dumps. I think Luke Fickell did not take that over. 262 writes in, I want to be whatever Mason is on. Wisconsin start 5-1, LOL. Good luck against Alabama and Michigan.
Yeah.
I think the Michigan game is actually one of the closer games for
us. I know.
I do think Michigan starting a guy who is currently
jumping on.
Do you know
board.
Bryce Underwood turns 18 next week?
Yeah,
he's 17 years old.
Everyone jump on.
That guy.
I am not.
Come on.
I am not jumping on board. They will lose that game. They will play that game close, and everyone's going to have faith, and then their heart's going to get ripped out.
Which one of your family members sent that message in?
No, none of them. This is me. This is who I am.
No, I mean on the talking text line. I mean, that had to be a family member.
No, that's just the 262. The Mason Crosby Show is presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Will the Badgers win more than 3 games this year? 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Mason's extra points are next.
Badgers 5-1. Here it comes.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
All right, great show today. Gosh, lots to talk about. Nick Osen joining us at 9:20 to talk about this Badgers football team, and then we dove into it again. And I'm not so pessimistic about this season. I think they can get off to a hot start and try to whittle out some wins late in the year and at least get to a bowl game. They can get to a bowl game. I think we can all be happy and we can move.
We would all be happy, Mason.
If they play a bowl game against Colorado, I will pay for your flights and your tickets to the game. How's that sound?
Hold on.
Right here.
Hold on.
On August 12th. I'm saying that.
That's a promo.
We
got to play that every day between now and the end of the college football season.
I don't trust
just
Mason.
you two, not everyone.
Right, just the two of us.
I don't trust Mason to take people to bowl games anymore after last year.
Oh, that one hurt.
He took people to bowl games.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't
Tommy,
even,
you are now officially a part of the
Dion's
family, though, with the kids. After the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame night, when Tommy, I come over and he's like, getting chocolates with the kids at the chocolate thing. I think Molly told him what to do at one point.
It was funny because your daughters kept asking for more chocolate and Molly was like, no. Then finally they were like, we're going to go inside. And Molly was like, fine, whatever. Yeah. And Tommy's like, chocolates for everybody.
I got him.
No, first of all, I'm not even worried about this bet because the Badgers are going to win 3 games. So it's not going to be a possibility anyway.
All right.
Second of all, Mitch was the one giving them chocolate. I did not do that. I would not. You're telling me I'd be defiant against Molly right now, and that's not something I would.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you said that out loud. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so excited for football season to be right here at our doorstep. I mean, it got me fired up talking about it today. It is wild. I just saw that Texas is the first number 1 seeded ranked team to be the underdog going into week 1.
Wow.
So they're the underdog against Ohio State.
It's 1 at 3.
Which they have to go, and they have to go to Columbus.
On the road, right.
Yeah, which is, it's crazy that's scheduled week 1. I mean,
2 weeks
what an
away.
electric first game of college football.
It's like 12 days away. That's
crazy.
Because
I do think if I remember Ohio State, they're playing at Ohio State, and they were talking about flexing it, and I think Texas said, no, we want to play y'all at 11 a.m.
Yeah,
we don't want it. We don't want it to be that night game. We don't want it to be all that stuff.
Because home teams love night games.
We're just showing up and getting that juice going.
Paul Skeens is plus 110 today at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Freddie Peralta minus 130. The Brewers have won 10 in a row. They are favored. I'm guessing Paul Skeens isn't an underdog very often.
Hey, and you know what? We did this promo yesterday. Just go to Potawatomi, go to the sports book, put a little action on it, and then you get a free shuttle. Again.
Free shuttle. That's right. Yep. That's all that. It's so easy.
My guys at Pato, yep, they'll take care of you.
Nice lead on Mason. All right, you taking the day tomorrow?
I do have the day tomorrow. Yep, got to get some stuff done tomorrow.
You're going to be a human?
Yeah, got to human it up. Lots on the docket. We're rolling into the school year. There's so much planning and organizing going down, and they all might have to get my golf game just squared away.
Not might. We expect it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting dialed.
Get some shots in.
Yeah, 2 weeks I'll be at that pro event. Getting
Dallas.
No, we're in Alabama this year.
Alabama,
this time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So wish me luck.
Well, I'll wish you luck then. I'm not wishing you luck yet.
Just every day, wish me luck.
Hit him straight, Mason.
All right.
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We are live from the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Brewers, let's get number 11 tonight, baby.
Let's do it.
I was